What's up, guys? In this video, I'm gonna talk about the few things that I will be changing and improving on my next prep. Alright, so as you guys know, I did my first bodybuilding show. Didn't go as well as I wanted, didn't really go as planned, especially the last time, the peak week, but I also lost a lot of muscles. Alright, I weighed in at 148 the night before the show. The morning of the show, I was at 150, 151 with all the carbs, and I'm usually 170. All right, yes, of course you gotta get leaner, you gotta lose some muscle mass, but I did lose a lot of muscle mass in that prep. I'll talk a little bit about it in depth in that video, but my next prep will be so different. I really want to do it differently. All right, in this prep I was coached. All right, my coach did an amazing job. I'm not here to blame my coach whatsoever. He's an amazing guy, he did a great job, but I really feel like we know our body so well that sometimes, having worked all those years, over a decade that I've been training to build that body, sometimes following a plan that a coach gives me that might not work is just a big risk for me. All right, and in this case, I didn't bring my best package. I was looking at pictures of me maybe 3-4 months ago, and I was like, this package would have placed better in the show. All right, so let's talk about the little, I'm not gonna say mistakes that I made, but little things that I would adjust for my next prep. All right, first thing first, I want to be coaching myself. Like I said, I know my body well, and I know what my body needs and the food that my body reacts well to. When we were on prep the last 6 weeks, my fat intake was around 20 grams of fat. All right, 20 to 25 grams of fat. I had pretty much one egg yolk. That was all the fats I had. And as a natural man, when you cut down your fats, your hormones start getting impacted. I wasn't even getting a boner. I was even trying my best to get a boner. Imagine what I was doing, just to see, just to try, and I wasn't even able to get a boner the last 6 weeks. So it really affected my hormones, my natural testosterone levels, my mood. I was super depressed. Like the last 4 weeks, I was miserable, guys. I was miserable. I wasn't filming content. Some people were like, well, you gotta document it. I was so tired that I didn't even want to turn my phone on. All right, that's how miserable I was. And I really believe that a big part of it was because my fat intake was super low. And as a natural, someone that is enhanced can get away with it because you're supplementing with PEDs, testosterone levels will stay artificially high. But as a natural, you can't drop your fat so low. And I had to learn it the hard way. Couldn't get a boner, but also the depression, the mood, your testosterone are low. So now your muscle mass won't have that same look. You won't have that same aggressivity at the gym. Everything gets affected, all right? So number one, I will not keep my fats low anymore. I was doing one egg yolk a day, and that was it for my fats. Even my meat was tuna in water, so there's no fats in there, right? I had no fat. Seriously, I had 15 to 20 grams of fat. So next prep, I will keep my fats at least 60 grams. This is the lowest that I'll go. All right, and I'll go all the way up to 100, 150 if needed. All right, because yes, I realize the importance of fats. Number two, I will not be doing as much cardio. I was doing 20,000 steps every single day, 7 days a week. 20,000 steps plus more sometimes because I had to get leaner. You know, I'm a guy that hold a bit more fat on my waist and on my glutes, and I was just not able to get lean, so we just kept bumping up the cardio up until it started to be counterproductive. It started to really impact my stress levels, my recovery, my hormones, everything, you know, and my muscle mass. Yes, you go catabolic, high cardio, low fats, low calories, recipe for disaster, especially as a natural. All right, so I would not do as much cardio. My next prep, I will really focus on maybe adding more training volume instead of bumping up that cardio. Maybe I will go all the way up to 15,000 steps, but that's it. All right, but now this off season, I don't want to push it too far. All right, I'll keep it relatively healthy. You see, I had 2 cheat days after the show. I had some fun. I had some cookies. There were some girls that gave me some cookies. What else? I had a meal of chicken, Greek chicken with some potatoes. I went with my cousin to a sushi place, but that was it. I had like few bagels, few rice cakes. Someone gave me a Kit Kat that I ate, but nothing too crazy. I didn't go all the way binging because I don't want to push the food too much and cheat so much that I have to work harder after. I want to keep things tight. All right, so that was number two, is not overdoing the cardio. Number three, my training changed so much. The last kind of month and a half, I started doing a lot of machines. Actually, the whole prep was mostly machines. And for my body, I mean, I was following my coach's plan because he's the coach and I respect coaches and I pay him for it. And I'm the kind of guy that is a bit of a militant. So you tell me to do this, I'll do this, and I'll follow you till the end line. And then I'll give my opinion. I'll never be like, no, do this, do that. I'll be like, okay, you want me to do this plan? Let's go along with it and let's reevaluate at the end. So what happened is that most of the exercises were machines. The isometric, the hold, and the single arm lat pull down, and all those kind of stuff, which works well for some people, but my body is so used to doing pull-ups, barbell back squat, barbell rows, dumbbell rows, your big compound lifts that are kind of the golden era free weight exercises. All right, that's just how my body has always been reacting well to, and that's how I started training. I started training in Syria with barely any equipment. So when I took this out, I started feeling like I was getting softer and smaller, and my muscles didn't have that pop, that life to them. Before, my muscles, my quads, even my glutes are bad, but when I started taking out the squat and the stiff leg deadlift, I have no glutes, no hamstring, nothing. I can do all the seated leg curl in the world. Nothing was happening. All right, let me just see if I'm filming. Yes, I am. So taking out those compound lifts, I really believe was a big mistake for me and the free weight exercises. I want to get back on doing my bench press and stuff like that. So that was number three. Machines are good, but man, I keep going back and forth with that subject, but I've tried it. You saw me on prep. Look how small I got. Doing pump work, or even not even pump work, getting my I don't want to say machines are no good, but compound lifts have to be there for me, pull-ups and those kind of stuff. So that was number three. Number four, we took out red meat 1 month out. We started doing a lot of tuna, a lot of chicken, well, mostly tuna, white tuna and white meat, but just because it's leaner. But for me, my body reacts so well when I'm eating red meat. I'm not talking just about in terms of strength and everything, but in terms of energy. When I'm eating beef, the vitamin B12, the zinc, the iron, all the vitamins and minerals that are in the red meat are just so powerful and are things that are precious, especially on prep. And when I took that out, man, I started feeling so always tired. Seriously, always tired. I felt like I had no kind of oomph, how they call it. I felt like my muscles had no more muscle. I just didn't feel the same way eating white meat and tuna. For me, red meat. And now you might say, well, red meat is fattier. Well, I go for extra lean ground beef or filet mignon or steaks that are super lean. I don't care about the money at this point because I've sacrificed so much. Trust me, this trip cost me so much money just to get to the show and come back. I won't even get into the details. But at this point, you're sacrificing and going all in. There's no point backing off. So for me, next prep is gonna be a lot of more steaks and filet mignon and extra lean ground beef. All right, and I want to go incorporate some liver because of the vitamins and minerals in there. Doing that white rice and tuna just doesn't work for me. All right, I feel so I don't know how to say it. I feel like I lose my thickness. It's weird. Yeah, that was the other mistake. Mistake number 5, I would say, of course, flying in the water retention, but I would say it's about my peak week. When we peaked, basically I was already super flat because I've been dieting for 14 weeks on 1600 calories. So doing a peak week and depleting even more the first 3 days, it kind of wrecked my system because I was already super flat. So going to even more flat and lower the carbs even more just to super compensate after, I don't think it's the good approach, especially for naturals, because when you reach a level of flatness, man, you're just stressing your body and you're going catabolic, and then giving your body 1,000 grams of carbs maybe, or 700 or 800 one shot on Thursday or Friday before the show might just wreak havoc on your digestive system, and your muscles and insulin just won't respond as well. Your pancreas has to release insulin for your body to absorb those carbs and send them to the muscles. But I get the super compensation impact, but I feel like for me, all those highs and lows and cut it and give him more and this and that just doesn't work. I prefer doing something that is stable, a gradual increase in carbs, for example, if needed, up until the body is full, and then you maintain there, as opposed to doing 0 and then to 200. I prefer going 50, 50, 50, gradually 60, 70, 80, 100. You're full, you're tight, good, go to the stage, you know? So that was another thing. Another mistake that I believe we did was we didn't cut the water too early. So basically, I kept drinking the same amount of water, which is 10 liters every single day. And I didn't cut the water at all the night before the show. I kept drinking, kept the sodium as is, which is pretty high. Didn't change any single thing, you know? So after the flight, my body was already retaining water, and then it was time to carb up, so my body started retaining even more water. But now on my next prep, I will really follow the peak week will be mostly cutting water and sodium 2 days before the show, and then 1 day out I will bump up my sodium, keeping the water low, and bump up my carbs, you know, just to kind of fill out the muscles but without the extra water. So that was another thing. What else are other things that I would change? Outside of that, honestly, I would practice more my posing. I messed up not practicing the posing enough, and once I got on stage and they kept us in that front relax for like a good 40 seconds, I was like, my god, that's not easy. Yeah, but hey man, part of the process. And I gotta work on my glutes and thigh and my hamstrings, you know, the hamstring glutes tie in. Man, I'm excited for the next season. And that's it, you know. Bodybuilding is so nice because it's really a nice sport where uh, you work on something and then you kind of want to reveal it. You work in the dark and you reveal it next to everyone. So it goes from one extreme, nobody sees you, and the day of the show, all lights are on you. And nobody cares about how you look a week ago or a week later. I was showing the guy that took second. I'm like, bro, look how I looked a week ago. I would have placed better than you. Just joking with him. And he's like, yeah, well, nobody cares about a week ago or a week later. It's all about the show day. You can look so good yesterday, but if on show you're flat or you're watery, that's what matters. And it's nice, it's fun, it's you know, it is part of the process, you know. The winner was Hussein FHT. If you guys know him, he's got 2 million followers. He was coached by Greg Doucette, and honestly, he looked amazing. He has that shape. He won, I think, the 3 classes: men's bodybuilding. I think he came in first in classic and third in men's physique. But yeah, he's a great guy. I spoke to him. He's Lebanese, only 22 years old. But man, people were like, yeah, well, genetics and this and that. But even if I don't have the best genetics, I want to make it. I want to make it, and I believe that I have what it takes. I'm gonna work on my abs a lot more, glutes, calves, hamstrings, and yeah, improve on my peak, and that's it. Go from there. I'll show you guys what I look like right now. Well, still holding a lot of water from the day of flying. I got back 2 days ago, but man, my body just doesn't react well to the plane. Where am I gonna put this so I can show you guys what I look like? Well, maybe right here. Yeah, no, my body does not react well to flying at all. Holding a lot of water still. You know, when I got back home, I looked at my feet and it was like sausages. But this is something that I couldn't understand when I was the day of the show. I was stressed. I was like, yesterday I saw my waist was so tight, and today I'm so watery. Couldn't understand it, so it stressed me even more. And I'm someone that gets stressed, that is anxious, so it just wasn't helping. Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you all for supporting me. Thank you all for the kind words, man. I received over 100 messages this last 2 days. I mean, I'm no star. I'm not an influencer. I'm nobody, you know. And I also saw two guys that recognized me the day of the show, and they wanted to take a picture with me. And one guy was competing with me, and he's like, "Bro, you're such an inspiration for me," and he plays better than me. I mean, yeah, but I was like, seriously, like, one of the judges was like, "It's been 2 days I've seen you, and you're just too watery." And this is a no in their book. Like, once you're watery, you got that kind of plastic film on top of you, and judges don't like it. But a lot of it is the flight. Never fly again. And that's it. See you guys in the next one. Thank you all. Ciao.